Hello, so my name's Councillor David Lloyd and I'm leader of Newark District Council, but also I'm co-chairman of Newark Towns Fund Board. And here I am on this lovely day in Newark, lovely clement weather for us, because there's been a few questions about the development on Stodman Street that many of us know as the former Marks and Spencer's unit. So I just want to give a bit of a recap on what's occurring and the plans for it, and then I'll go and directly address those questions that you've been raising. So there it is behind me. And the plan obviously retains the frontage, the Art Deco frontage there, but improves it at ground level, and reducing it into two smaller retail units alongside 29 high quality flats and apartments above and set back so they're not immediately visible from here. And in addition to that, we're reducing the bulge that used to be the reverse of Marks and Spencer's, so there's an immediate sight line right the way through to Lombard Street, which hopefully just helps with footfall, bringing them here into the centre of town. So why this project and why the District Council? Well, we applied for part of the Towns Fund, the 25 million we successfully got, in order to deliver this. And that's because it's a large unit in the middle of the town centre and vital to the work we want to do on footfall and sustaining the many things that you said. So when we did a consultation with you, over 1,800 replied, and I think it was about 71% said they wanted to see more retail and fashion units in the town. But I've looked at some of those comments that come up on Facebook and some I've had by email, so I now just want to take this opportunity to answer some of those questions you've raised. There are empty units, and that's something we're trying to address. Actually, Newark is performing better than many averages, so I think nationally the average of vacant units in market towns is around about 13.9%. Here in Newark it's 9.54, to be absolutely precise to the decimal point. So we're overperforming and outperforming that, but that doesn't mean we should rest on our laurels. But look, the District Council has intervened only where there's been a necessity to do so. So I've seen lots of comments on rents and rates. We don't all own all of these premises in the town. And what we've done is to step in where the very large, obvious units that are vital to footfall would occur. So people remember what's now the Travelodge, but the Robin Hood Hotel. We sorted that a few years ago at no cost to the taxpayer, and that has now brought in different units and of course an 84-bedroom hotel. Similarly, this side of the bus market onto Middlegate, again we stepped in, huge unit that was failing in the private sector, and there you've got Tambo Lounge, Iguazu, Specsavers, and now upstairs, launched this Saturday, Inspire Learning. So another unit that's full and driving that footfall into town. So this is a similar proposition here with Stodman Street, a large unit, drives footfall, obvious if it's empty, needs repurposing and reshaping, got a track record of doing it, and we'll do it where it's necessary on those larger buildings. The others, we work with the landlords, the tenants and the retailers themselves to do the best we can to bring people into those units. So I don't disagree with the sentiment of some of those comments, but the money that's been brought forward for this is from the Towns Fund, and it is specific around economic development and regeneration, which is what we as the District Council do, working in partnership with others. With regards to potholes, pavements, road repairs, that would be the County Council, but this money isn't available for those sort of things. And I do recall people early doors saying, can't the 25 million just be spent on the hospital? Well, sadly no, it's a very specific fund directed from government for these means, so it couldn't be spent in that way. But hopefully you'll have seen the good news. We're working with the hospital on expanding their car park. By virtue of that, the more spaces you have, the more services you can bring in, hence the extension and new wards they're bringing forward as well. So we're not disregarding those issues, but the money for this had to be specific to economic development. So there's plenty of evidence from other towns around the country that when you have people living directly in the town centre, it helps to improve the feeling of safety. And obviously you've got more people reporting crime around social behaviour if it happens. But you've also got people who just come down the stairs and nip into the shops. So there's something there about trade, there's something about safety. So I know some people think if you live in a town centre you don't need a vehicle, some people do, you need supermarket deliveries and others. So the very rear of the property there will be provision for some parking for those that live there, and also the various different deliveries and parking for cycling as well. I think it's back to the comments I made earlier that people think we own all of these units and we set the rents and that we set the amount of business rates, and we don't. Business rates is a national thing, the rents are the premise of the landlord, not ourselves. So if that's where that comment was coming from, it's not ourselves. As I've also mentioned on the Travelodge and others, okay, it's no cost to the taxpayer and they are returning a small amount on rents, but that goes towards repairs and renewals and actually just keeping some costs down. But the monies that have come forward and the people involved, the YMCA, the college with the Air and Space Institute, the various things we're doing around education and aspiration and just those different things, I would hope to indicate to people that those who are involved in this, it's not about profit or ourselves, it's absolutely the zeal of all the partners and the comments from the public and the retailers and others that we're working with on this to take forward a really positive future for Newark. And that's what came out of the consultation and the people we speak to and what we're looking to do. So I hope that just emphasises this. There's no profit involved for any of those different stakeholders. The gain, what we get from this, is a sustainable and a better town centre that people want to live and work in, and crucially visit to get that extra footfall to sustain the retail. So everybody's motives are very sound, very positive, very moral, and quite right and proper on this, and I salute those that have come forward and worked with us. So we'll shortly be commissioning a contractor, and the various internal demolition works will start during the summer. We hope to have the actual construction beginning Christmas this year, with it opening then later in 2025 sometime in that summer.